Hi everyone, we are Kwa and Sophie. In our previous assignment, we developed a customized evaluation tool, the Safe Street Design Index, or Ssdi. It designed to assess the overall safety, accessibility, and comfort of urban environments, with broad applicability across different types of streets and public spaces. In this project, we applied the Ssdi to a specific location, Jayhawk Boulevard, one of the most heavily used pedestrian corridors on the KU campus. By using the accessibility and comfort sections of the Ssdi, which we developed and tailored in our previous assignment, we aim to evaluate how well this iconic street supports daily pedestrian needs and where design improvements may be necessary. To find out, we apply the Safe Street Design Index, with a specific focus on the accessibility and comfort category because it merges physical conditions with real-world user experience. Before we get into our data, let's take a look at this campus heat map from KU 2023 Town Hall. It shows where male and female students feel unsafe outdoors. As you can see, men reported fewer concerns, while women highlighted far more risk zones, especially around Jayhawk Boulevard, near Strong, Boutique, and West Coast. This data is crucial because it shows that safety is not just about infrastructure, it's also about how people feel in that space. That's why our tool needed to go beyond measurements and capture both physical and psychological comfort, which SSDI's accessibility and comfort components allow us to do.
So we chose to evaluate Jayhawk Boulevard because one, it's very familiar to us, and also because it's really the symbolic heart of KU. And so it's extremely important that it is safe, comfortable, and accessible for everyone that uses it, which is thousands of students, faculty, and visitors every day. So our SSDI, or Safe Street Design Index, can help us evaluate Jayhawk Boulevard at certain points along the street to help us get a better understanding of where Jayhawk Boulevard is succeeding and where it could be lacking and need some improvements. So our tool has 3 sections, but we will only be going in depth and focusing on one of them for our evaluation today, which is accessibility and comfort. So this is our tool, the SSDI, which is used to evaluate the safety of built and proposed urban street environments. It contains 3 categories. The first one is lighting and visibility, which can work as a deterrent against crime by enhancing visibility. And this category includes different types of lighting and recommended lighting levels. The second category is passive surveillance, which basically uses the concept of eyes on the street by the urban theorist Jane Jacobs. Which is basically the idea that streets that are observed tend to be safer. So some features in this category include high pedestrian traffic and transparent facades. And the third and final category is accessibility and comfort, which is what we're focusing on today. And the goal is to make everyone feel comfortable and welcome, which can further increase pedestrian traffic and make everyone safer. And so here we're looking at things like sidewalk width, vegetation, and seating areas. And the way this tool works is that each feature has its own criteria that we evaluate, and we give each one a score of 0 to 2 based on whether the space we're looking at is not meeting the standard, meeting the standard, or going beyond the standard. And then we can count up the total score from that and can determine overall how accessible whatever environment we are evaluating is.
Here's the tool we used, the SSDI Accessibility and Comfort tool. It evaluates 7 different criteria, each scored from 0 to 2, so each zone can earn up to 14 points total. The criteria include sidewalk, safety zone spacing, emergency infrastructure, tactile paving for people with vision impairments, green space and trees, pavement quality, and seating availability. We evaluated 4 key sites along Jayhawk Boulevard, West Hall, Chi Omega Fountain, the bus stop near Stuffer Flint, and Stronghold Lawn. We went out between 1 to 3 p.m. during peak walking hours and gathered data using tape measurements, photos, Google Earth, and quick surveys with pedestrians about their feelings of safety and comfort.
So initially looking at Jayhawk Boulevard overall, there are a lot of things that are going really well. The sidewalks are plenty wide enough, at times being even 15 feet wide. There's plenty of green space and vegetation that is used as a buffer between the sidewalk and the street, and intersections have tactile paving for the visually impaired. However, while we do have a plaza shown with some public seating, there's unfortunately not enough seating spaced along the boulevard. And there's smooth sidewalk shown in these pictures, but around the Chi Omega fountain, the quality declines and we start to see some hazards.
After applying the Ssdi tool, we were able to form a clear picture of how each zone performs, not just visually, but based on tangible, human-centered criteria. Here's what we found. Stuffer Flint scored highest with 13 out of 14. Is a strong example of effective and thoughtful design. West Hall 11 points with a great sidewalk width and tactile paving trees as well. Stronghold Lawn met the threshold with 10 points but lacked seating and safety zones. And finally, Chi Omega Fountain scored only 6, missing many criteria elements like benches, paving quality, and emergency infrastructures. Even though tactile paving was present in all areas, seating, pavement quality, and emergency support were uneven, often depending on location rather than need.
So in using this tool, we've learned that while Jayhawk Boulevard is doing a lot of things right, it's also missing the mark in a few areas. So some of these issues include inadequate emergency systems, not having enough spaces to rest, and some sidewalk issues, which disproportionately affects more vulnerable users. And some of these issues come from just having a trade off between function and beauty, because we see that in areas like the Chi Omega fountain that are more focused on aesthetics, we start to lack some safety features because of it. And I think that while it's important for these spaces to be visually appealing, we should be putting just as much effort into making them safe and comfortable.
So, where do we go from here? We believe there's real potential to evolve both the SSDI tool and KU Street design approach. Our recommendations fall into 4 categories. First, we suggest expanding the SSDI criteria to include perceived safety at night, inclusivity features like braille signs and bilingual wayfinding, weather protection such as shade and shelters. Second, creating a mobile web-based SSDI app could allow real-time data entry, automatic score calculations, and photo uploads. This would help both students and professionals conduct better evaluations. Third, we propose expanding the user base, collecting feedback from women, disabled individuals, and older adults to make our evaluation more representative and accurate. These could be even turned into heat maps showing underused or high-risk zones. Lastly, we recommend a tier zoning classification system where Zone A is stable, Zone B needs improvement, and Zone C requires urgent attention. This helps prioritize funding and renovations based on data. In conclusions, by applying the SSDI accessibility and comfort tool and integrating both view data and user perception, we were able to gain a clearer, more human-centered understanding of how Jayhawk Boulevard functions, not just as a walkway, but as a lit space. Our findings review both strengths and shortcomings, but more importantly, they opened the door for thoughtful improvements that prioritize inclusivity, comfort, and safety for all users. As urban designers and future professionals, we believe these tools and the mindset behind them should be applied widely, so our cities and campus are shaped not only by structures but by empathy. Thank you all for your attention.